I sold my first software in 10th grade. By the age of 33, I was a self-made multimillionaire. Early stage operator VC क्या देखता है और ये बहुत प्रैक्टिकल है चाहे फाउंडर कितना भी बोले.
Knowing what's behind that investor, that's what we are doing over here, right?
We had about 8-9 years journey with Red Bull North America. The retainer started with $20,000 a month and then it reached about like.
So welcome to another episode, and this time we have Pranay, who's an entrepreneur, angel investor, founded multiple companies around. We'll explore his journey, we'll understand how an investor is formed, how the operator side of an investor looks like. So yes, welcome Pranay on the podcast, and looking forward hosting to you.
Thank you, Himanshu, for having me here, and looking forward for a great conversation.
Firstly, right, there are very less operators turned investor who have previously built around companies, who have previously been in the operator shoes. Now, because they understand more how the founders looks like, right, how the founders work.
Yeah.
So tell us the things, what goes behind this investor. How's your operator journey look like, right? You have been an operator, you are an operator, right? So how that looks like in that front.
Yep. Very interesting question, Himanshu. So, yeah, I think I feel that it gives me an edge being an investor to really, understand the nuances and the challenges, good or bad things that founder goes through, and building a startup is, as people said, that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? So there are a lot of challenges around that. I think I've been fortunate that I started my entrepreneur journey at the age of 25 in 2010. That's when I started my tech services company. Over the last 15 odd years, I've helped international brands like Red Bull, Disney, Zynga, Network 18, ENY, Apollo Pharmacy to build some great digital products and assets for them, right? And I think that has helped me also understand, because I've worked with these brands and there are several startups in North America that I've worked with, build their technology from scratch and build their tech teams and product teams and growth teams. So I think this gives me a clear understanding of how founders in today's world, face challenges, and I'm able to relate to them, right? And for sure, this helps the founders get the right inputs from me, and right advices when they need it, like how to build the team. There are a lot of challenges, and I see with the founders that they face with building the team, right? Then how to really sustain customers, how to bring the right growth in the company, and then of course raising the fund is also a very critical part to keep the momentum going on, right? So I think that's what I bring on the table to all these startups.
That's definitely, I agree on that aspect, right? But just the things apart. So I didn't knew that you have been building that company since 15 odd years, right? I was thinking you are just 30 years old. So,
Yeah, I look like that.
yeah. So, but it's been really long thing, right? And one more thing, that since you have been an operator and you have been building your company since last 15 years, right? If you don't mind sharing what's the ARR you started with and how you are doing right now, like that.
Honestly, I started my career as a freelancer
Hmm.
when I graduated from Brilliance of Technology. The
Hmm.
only company I applied to was Google, right, in 2007. So Google rejected me somehow. They were not hiring, or there were some challenges, and
Hmm.
because I'm not a BTech guy, I did business administration
Hmm.
under graduation from BIT Mesra Rachi. So then I thought that once I got rejected from Google, and that's the only company I wanted to join, I thought that okay, now I will create my own path towards
Hmm.
that, right? So I started as a freelancer. I registered on platform called Odesk. Because I've been doing programming since my childhood. That's a long story, but I've been very passionate about programming technology since the age of 8. My uncle lives in US, my Tauji lives in US. He bought me a laptop in 1992. Since then, I've been doing programming. So the only thing I knew when I graduated was programming, and I wanted to build a career on that. So I applied. I created a profile on odes.com,
Hmm.
Then I did a lot of tests on that platform. I became top 10% programmers on that platform. So I
Seriously?
started receiving all these opportunities from various companies in Europe
And
that they want
what
to
was
build.
the age when you became the top?
I think I was 22,
Okay.
21, 22. Yeah, at that
Okay.
point. Yeah. So, so yeah, I got a couple of opportunities. There were one company which was building some VoIP solution. I became part of their front end team to design customer platform and all that stuff. Another was like a public private partnership company, which they were digitalizing all these birth certificate, marriage certificate, that certificates, all those things they were digitalizing at that point of time, in 2007. So I got lucky. I got those projects. I worked with like 10, 15 people team there remotely, all work from home. And freelancing in a middle class family in 2007 was not so cool,
Yeah.
right? People were asking ki, what you are doing, you should be in job and all that stuff.
I'm in doubt कि समझ भी आता होगा उस समय कि कर क्या रहा है.
हाँ, राइट. सो किसी को समझाना कि मैं फ्रीलांसिंग कर रहा हूँ was the biggest challenge for me. But yeah, I think my family supported me, and I keep it doing. And for about 2.5, 3 years, I did that
Hmm.
freelancing. In During freelancing, the best part was that I was able to talk to a lot of people, from building front end to back end, designing databases for scalable applications, then presenting those things to concept notes and ideas to these people who were building these companies, right? So I think I got that first hand experience being a freelancer, doing a lot of things myself, right?
Hmm.
And right from ideation to the delivery and scaling those things.
Hmm.
And I think that has helped me across all these last 15 years, wherein I'm able to help and build products for large enterprises and some successful startup across the globe. So yeah, I mean that's how I started, right? Then after 3 years of my this freelancing journey, I got a request from one of my freelancing customer that now we want to really scale this entire tech product development and all. So would you be interested in setting up a team for us in India, right?
Hmm.
So that's how my entrepreneurial journey started. So in 2010 I started building a team with 3 people. So that's what is a Canadian company, and they wanted to create various digital applications for their franchisee stores, right? So they were into electronics, selling appliances, kitchen appliances, and all that things selling, right? So they were selling products of Samsung, Sony, all these various brands, and they had about 30 franchisee stores at that point of time, and they wanted to scale very fast. So I started building their various application, worked with the company owners, their technology heads to really understand their needs, their business heads to understand their need, translate into various application, build that application with the team here in India. And then over the 8 years I helped them build about more than a dozen application, right? So that's how I started with 3 people. And I think by the age of, I will not exactly quote the numbers of the company but I would say that by the age of 33 I was a self-made multimillionaire. I made a lot of money. So in this like 6, 7 years I helped build application for like Red Bull North America, worked 3 CIOs of Red Bull, built about 2 dozen products for them. So yeah, I mean that's how I built my wealth. But it took about 7, 8 years to really come down to that level. And because I was fortunate to work with all these US companies,
Hmm.
so making money from the US company is easier than working just for the customers in India, right?
Yes.
So you are able to save more money, and that's true for all the export companies. So I think I chose the right direction. People supported me, and I have never spent any money in sales and marketing. I have never did any sales and marketing. Everything has come through word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
So uh, all my freelancing customers and the people I knew referred me to somebody, so Red Bull guy came in a way ki, I was working for one guy in Los Angeles during the 2007 2008 period as a freelancer. So they were building some event company, and I helped them build all the tech for that event company. And that guy then later became project manager in Red Bull. and Red Bull North America was having some issues delivering the projects. Right, they hired two developers from a very big tech company. I won't name here. It's a very big, very popular global tech company, and they were not able to deliver a product, the project to them, for almost 6 months.
Mm.
So CIO was really unhappy, and this guy became a project manager. He reached out to me saying, "Ki, Pranay, we are really stuck, and would you like to help us, complete this project?" So I asked them that the details of the project, and also the project was not really well defined and all that. So they were just doing some random development on that. So I said, okay, give me the source code file, let me look into that if I am able to help you or not. So he sent me the files. I figured out those were in Java, and I was not working in Java. I was working on ASP.NET and PHP and all that stuff. But I figured out that this is a big opportunity, so I have to crack that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I cannot let Red Bull kind of a customer go. So I said that, okay, send me the files. They sent me the files. I looked at it. I was not able to really understand what they're building. The code was completely in a very bad shape and all that stuff. And because I didn't work a lot in Java and all that framework they were using, I said that, okay, give me some 10-15 days to really go through it. So what I did is I hired a very junior Java developer
Mm.
within like 3-4 days, you
Yeah.
know and I asked him कि कुछ मत करो, just look at the code and tell me कि ये क्या क्या मॉड्यूल है इसमें, what are the modules that they are trying to build,
Mm.
right? So he created a list of all the modules and all that stuff कि ये functionality ऐसा ऐसा है. तो उससे हमने एक business requirement निकाली कि ये लोग what they are trying to really build. So I think on 15th day I told him कि there are two options. One is कि if you want me to build this in Java, that will take about 3 months time, and if you want this application to be in 1 month, I can develop this application in PHP in 1 month entirely. So he said, okay, let me talk to CIO. So he talked to the CIO, and CIO said, okay, let's do it in PHP because we want it anyhow completed in 1 month. I never wanted to do this application in Java, but the only reason I said them कि देखो 3 महीने लगेंगे अगर आपको जावा में बनाना है, एंड हम 1 महीने में इसको PHP में बना देंगे.
Yes.
So we start. He gave us the approval, transferred all the advance, everything. It was there. So I already had a very expert team in PHP at that point of time with me, working on some best frameworks of that time. So got the project on the 30th day. We demoed the entire application to CIO, and then from there we had about 8-9 years journey with Red Bull North America with about
Okay.
more than a dozen applications for them, right? So then we got onboarded as a retainer team with them, and regularly new projects used to come and all that stuff. So the retainer started with $20,000 a month kind of a retainer,
Mm.
and then it reached about like 30-40 thousand dollars a kind of a retainer in next 2-3 years kind of time. So if I would have tell them, okay, I don't have a Java developer, so sorry, I cannot do this
Mm.
project, right? That could be a simple answer to them,
Mm.
right? But I saw that as an opportunity, and then took it forward.
That's so
Yeah.
insane, to be honest. Firstly, because and you are at 26, right? At that,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, getting a client, getting a retainers of $40,000. That too, I guess, in the period of 2007 or something.
It was between 2012 and
Yeah,
2019. Yeah,
yeah, and still the Geo Wave has not come in yet, right?
yeah, yeah.
You know
Nothing.
what? Many people know about Stripe, PayPal, all of these tools,
Yeah,
and you are still engaging with those guys, delivering the stuff.
yeah.
Interesting. Follow on to this, right? When you said, you don't spend marketing on sales, right? You get the referrals around that. That I think most of the problem lies over there with current scenario. Right now, I think the market is more about spend more, how much your LTV to CAC ratio is. But if I would have to ask you that back then, what is your LTV to CAC ratio? You would say, bro, it's just
No
LTV,
idea.
LTV, right?
बस ये देखते थे कि मंथ के एंड में कितना पैसा बच रहा है हमारे अकाउंट में. दैट वाज द ओनली नॉट स्टार मैट्रिक्स एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. So profitability was the only North Star metrics. So profitability has to be, at least 35-40% or more, at least on every account that we were doing at that point of time, right? And I didn't used to have like a lot of small projects. तो मैंने कभी WordPress के वो 2,000, 5,000, $10,000 वाले कभी भी projects नहीं किए. I always focused on big इवन MVP भी करते थे, $10,000 का भी करते थे, बट विद अ व्यू ऑफ कि हम उसको आफ्टर 3 months 6 months हम उसको रिटर्नर में कन्वर्ट कर लें. सो आई ओनली फोकस्ड ऑन रिलेशनशिप्स एंड प्रोजेक्ट्स which can go at least 3 to 6 7 years kind of a time, right?
Hmm.
So this way I was able to optimize and my own effort, and put my own effort in delivering high quality products
Hmm.
projects to my customers, right? Retain them for a longer period,
Hmm.
and without losing any 15 20 30% on any sales guy. Now this is an agency model, honestly, right? It is not scalable, so right, still we have about 70 80 people in that company, but the focus is never is कि हम इसको 300 400 लोगों की कंपनी बनाए. The reason being कि building a product or projects requires a lot of focus, right? And
Yes.
that's my core. I love in getting involved into projects. So for agency founders who are building agencies, I'm not sure, like every founder can have different idea, I mean thought process, but I believe that for myself, I wanted to get involved into projects, products, helping my customers increase the ROI. So जैसे वो Canadian company की I was sharing, right?
Hmm.
So पहले साल जो हमने प्रोडक्ट बनाया, हमने उसके $2 लाख चार्ज किए एक साल में, बट हमने उनको $5 लाख सेव करके दिए. सो द आइडिया वॉज दैट. सो आई ऑलवेज मैप्ड कि हम उनको चार्ज क्या कर रहे हैं वर्सेस द वैल्यू दैट वी आर डिलीवरिंग टू देम. सेम विद द रेड बुल गाइस. सो द फ्लैगशिप प्रोडक्ट दैट वी डेवलप्ड, सो वो पहला इंस्टिंक्ट था जो पहला हमने MVP बना के दिया उनको 1 महीने में. उसके बाद वो प्रोडक्ट ही 7 8 साल चला. उसके
Hmm.
बियॉन्ड हमने और डेवलप किए प्रोडक्ट. तो मेरी ऐसा नहीं था कि मैं 0 to 1 जर्नी सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ बार बार हर कस्टमर के लिए. आई वॉज एबल टू 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100. सो आई वॉज एबल टू गेट इन्वॉल्व फ्रॉम आइडिएशन टू देयर स्केलेबिलिटी.
Hmm. And I also think कि इसी वजह से you within as a person also achieve that kind of a skill, because sometimes क्या होता है कि what I have heard mostly, एक person है वो एक कंपनी में काम कर रहा है, 0 to 1 जर्नी में उस कंपनी के साथ रहा, अब
या
1 to 100 में अलग टाइप के चैलेंजेस होते हैं, एंड दे लीव दैट कंपनी, नाउ दे मूव टू अगेन सेम कंपनी जो 0 से 1 जा रही है, क्योंकि वो उनके कंफर्ट जोन में आ चुका है
या
कि now they understand how 0 to 1. But since you worked with different stages, I think you have grown as a person on different scales, how to grow 0 to maybe 100 or beyond.
या एब्सोल्युटली. सो जो फ्रेंचाइजी कंपनी की मैं बात कर रहा था, तो दे हैड अबाउट 30 स्टोर्स व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड.
Hmm.
I mean, in 2019, they were having about 300 stores in Canada. So we were managing data of 300 franchisee stores. So right from their price tags कि वो हर product पे price tag क्या print करते हैं, वो हमारी application से होता था. वो flyers जो 20 पेज 30 पेज के flyer booklets होती हैं कि पेज नंबर 1 पे सोनी का टीवी है,
Hmm.
पेज नंबर 10 के ऊपर कुछ और किचन अप्लायंसेज है. तो हर 300 स्टोर हर महीने वो प्रिंट करते थे और हमारे डिजिटल एप्लीकेशन यूज करते थे उसको डिजाइन करने के लिए. तो इस तरह की एप्लीकेशन डेवलप की कि हम कैसे एक बड़ा स्केल क्रिएट कर सकते हैं व्हेन यू आर स्केलिंग द बिजनेस. सो माय एक्सपर्टीज वाज टू हेल्प देम आइडेंटिफाई द राइट यूजर एक्सपीरियंस. तो वो फ्रेंचाइजी स्टोर पे जो एक स्टोर मैनेजर है जो इतना टेक से भी नहीं है, वो कैसे यूज करेगा उस टेक्नोलॉजी को, राइट, टू बिल्ड दैट एंटायर फ्लायर फॉर देमसेल्व्स. तो हमने 1,000 पेजेस प्री डिजाइंड पेजेस का एक पेज बैंक बनाया
Hmm.
सबका, राइट, जहां पर हमने सोनी से लेके सारे जितने भी ब्रांड्स, अबाउट लाइक दे वर डूइंग 100+ ब्रांड्स अक्रॉस देयर स्टोर्स. सो उन सबका पेज बैंक हमने डिजाइन करवा लिया.
Hmm.
अब उनका काम था कि हर महीने एक ओपन डेट होती थी कि इस दिन आपको फ्लायर रिक्वेस्ट देनी है और आपको यहाँ पे जाके सेलेक्ट करना है कि कौन कौन से पेज पे क्या करना है. तो फ्रंट और बैक कवर को वो कस्टमाइज कर सकते थे और मतलब ऑनलाइन ही कुछ अपना नया टेक्स्ट लिखना है, कहीं पे आपको एक पेज लगाना है, अगर क्रिसमस आ गया, ब्लैक फ्राइडे आ गया, सेल आ गया, तो पूरा हमने लॉजिक डिफाइन करके रख रखा था हर चीज का. एंड वी न्यू कि हाउ व्हाट दे रियली नीड. So the way the entire application was developed कि उनका business goal complete हो, but without getting too much involved in the technology. This is what is required to, for businesses to identify the right tech solution. And I think that has helped me understand कि एक जब आप scale करते हो business को, तो आपको क्या क्या challenges आते हैं in terms of growing your number of customers or your franchisee partners. उनको क्या क्या चाहिए होगा.
Hmm.
And this is the kind of intelligence I am able to help a lot of founders now.
यस, यस, क्योंकि इट्स मोर अबाउट कि जिसने खुद बेचा है वो बता सकता है कि कैसे बेचना है, राइट? इट्स मोर लाइक दैट, सो
Yep.
काइंड ऑफ दैट। व्हाट हैपेंड, क्यूरियस टू नो कि व्हेन यू बिकेम मल्टी मिलियनेयर, राइट? व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट स्टेप यू डिड पोस्ट दैट? बिकॉज़ इट वाज कंप्लीटली नया होगा सब कुछ, सारी चीजें चेंज हो
It
रही
gradually happened. Honestly, I mean, it's not like कि मैंने कोई अपनी equity बेची and then किया. So I started saving money, right? तो a lot of people have the problem कि जैसे उनके पास कुछ पैसा आता है, they started spending
थी।
money on car and house and vacations and all that stuff. So I didn't do that for the first 5 years, 5 6 years. I think I was living the same middle class boy, saving money, spending on very essential things. And I was always sure कि पहले हमें पैसा बचाना है and then we will, invest that money somewhere in a very productive way only. I'm living in Jaipur. So Jaipur में तो वैसे भी खर्चे कम हैं. There is no such nightlife and all that stuff and show off and all. I always had that kid, let's save the money, invest in the growth of the business, helping team grow. एंड आई स्टार्टेड विद अ टीम वेरी फ्रेशर टीम. तो मेरी टीम में सब लोग बहुत नए थे, इंटर्न से स्टार्ट किया, फ्रेशर्स लेकर आया उनको. विद इन 3 4 years मैंने एक फ्रेशर से लेके सब कुछ एक्सपोजर दिया, राइट? एंड देन अबाउट 5 6 years के एक्सपीरियंस में दे वर मेकिंग मोर मनी देन 10 years experience people in some other companies because they were growing with me, right?
Yes.
And I still have people in my team who are working for more than like 10 12 13 years with me now, right? So जैसे मेरे clients मेरे साथ 6 7 साल रहते हैं, मेरी टीम भी मेरे साथ कम से कम ऑन एन एवरेज मेरी टीम का रिटेंशन है हर इंडिविजुअल का अबाउट 5 6 years,
Hmm.
right? That's the average time people have worked with me because they love being कि एक प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट हुआ, एक बहुत छोटा सा प्रोजेक्ट था, नाउ इट हैज बिकम बिग,
Hmm. Impact the
इम्पैक्ट दिख रहा है, दे आर एबल टू ग्रो देयर स्किल सेट ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ऑन दैट प्रोडक्ट. तो मैं ऐसे ही लेता हूँ, हर प्रोडक्ट पे कोई भी नया स्टार्ट होता है, एक पहले एक फ्रेश माइंडसेट वाले बंदे को लो, उसको बोलो कि दिस इज द बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 3 4 5 years 6 years फॉर यू, वर्क ऑन इट, लर्न अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स ऑन इट. सो आई थिंक दैट स्ट्रेटजी हैज वर्कड फॉर मी अ लॉट एज वेल.
and then ये इन्वेस्टर कैसे टर्न हुए, क्योंकि नाउ यू हैव मेड गुड लॉट ऑफ मनी, राइट? अब ऑब्वियसली एज यू सेड कि रियल चीज़ों में इन्वेस्ट करने का यू आर लुकिंग आउट फॉर द नेक्स्ट थिंग्स, राइट? बट ये एसेट क्लास एक्सप्लोर कैसे हुआ कि वीसी में डालते हैं, स्टार्टअप्स में डालते हैं, राइट? पब्लिक मार्केट इज देयर, रियल स्टेट इज देयर, एंड डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स आर देयर, लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर. सो ये एसेट क्लास कैसे इन्वॉल्व हुआ? और साथ में मेरे को ये भी बताना कि ज़्यादातर लोग ये सोचते हैं कि whoever the people are family offices or founders, वो सारा पैसा इसी में डाल रहे हैं. So allocation wise as well a bit.
आई थिंक व्हेन आई मेड माय वेल्थ, सबसे पहले तो इन्वेस्टमेंट रियल एस्टेट में ही होता है, राइट? क्योंकि पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं नहीं नहीं पहले सेव जगह इन्वेस्टमेंट्स करो.
हाँ.
So I think I made those investments. I did mutual fund and everything, but I always wanted to do more, and I think it came out of passion only to get into startup investments. Right? It was never about just to make money out of providing some services or something. I think I realized that key if I have to, do something alongside my business, that I wanted to connect with founders, help them. That is was what my instinct, right? And then I realized कि भाई कोई founder मेरी बात सुनेगा क्यों? As
Hmm.
an advisor, as a somebody who can help them, of course, right? I can, but I think to really build big companies, I have to put some skin in the game, right? And that's how I thought that okay, let's learn about angel investing. So I think in 2017, 18, I stepping into myself into understanding the angel investing space, startup investments or startup, as such.
Hmm.
And उससे पहले 2015 से तो पहले हमको पता भी नहीं था कि स्टार्टअप क्या होता है, राइट? व्हेन द फ्लिपकार्ट बिकेम पॉपुलर एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, उस समय तो हमको पता था कि भाई एक प्रॉफिटेबल सर्विस बिजनेस बनाना है या प्रॉफिटेबल प्रोडक्ट बिजनेस बनाना है. But how to really go about investment, I think that was important. So I took about 2 3 years to really learn the nuances. I started hosting some events here in Jaipur, invited various VCs and investors here in universities, colleges. I participated in various events. So I think that gave me a lot of exposure and understanding of the world of startups and how other investors think, right? And then in 2020, I started my investment journey with Fluid Ventures, where I become the LP and the advisor in that fund. That is a D2C focused fund founded by Amit Singhal. And
Yeah.
then in 2022, I started this fund called Real Time Angel Fund.
Hmm.
This is the angel fund. So yeah, I think it took me, it was not a very sudden thing. It took
Hmm.
me about 4 5 years to figure out really, like what is startup investment, फाउंडर माइंडसेट क्या है, कैसे लोग सोच रहे हैं, क्या प्रोडक्ट बिल्ड हो रहा है, क्या स्पेस अच्छी है, क्या स्पेस अच्छी नहीं है, right? And then alongside also contributing in founders as well with my expertise. बट यस इट्स अ रिस्की एसेट क्लास, और हम लोग हम्बल बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं, हमने हमारे पेरेंट्स ने बहुत हमको मेहनत करके वो पैसा कमा के हमको बड़ा बनाया होता है, और हमने भी अपनी मेहनत से बूटस्ट्रैप बिजनेस बनाया होता है, तो हमें लगता है कि यार हम, इफ वी विल गिव मनी, व्हाई पीपल आर बर्निंग दैट मनी,
Hmm.
right? So I think to understand the nuances of it and giving the right direction to the founders of how to use the money is very important. I think that I took my own time to really understand that.
But I love the question that you asked yourself when you said कि मेरी फाउंडर सुनेगा क्यों, राइट?
Yeah,
क्योंकि व्हाट हैपेंस, मैं जैसे देखता हूँ, राइट, कि कई जने सिर्फ वो, यू नो हाउ इजी इट इज टू बिकम अ मेंटर एट ई सेल, राइट?
yeah,
जने जाके वहां पे मेंटर बन जाते हैं एंड दे आर मोर लाइक, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना तो सुनेगा तो सही, मैं
yeah,
चिल्लाऊंगा कोई तो सुनेगा, दे आर मोर लाइक दैट.
yeah.
So but yes, I think there is a lot of value in terms of, you know, how you have built and how, as you rightly said, you know, कि कोई सुनेगा क्यों. Now I can absolutely say अगर कोई इसको देख रहा है, right?
That is one thing, very important aspect. Ki why founder will take you seriously, right?
Yes.
Even if you are saying the right thing.
Hmm.
Another thing is that unless and until you have skin in the game, अगर मैं सिर्फ एक mentor equity लेके बैठ जाऊँ, and my goal is to take mentor equity in 10 or 15 20 startups like that,
Hmm.
how much serious I am with them,
Yes.
what is like really making me worried कि अगर ये सही नहीं करेगा या मैं इसको सही एडवाइस नहीं दूंगा. So I think a lot of self commitment is also very important, and then that's how I took a conscious call कि I will not advise startups, I will not become mentor to any startup honestly, unless and until I become an investor in that company. So अभी जिन भी companies को मैं advise कर रहा हूँ, I am being the investor in those company. I've been never mentor to any company. I've been mentors to individual founders कि जिनको कोई मेरे को help चाहिए या वो चाहिए, but not, I'm not taking any equity in that company. As a friend, as a gesture, as a pro bono, I'm helping a lot of founders, answering their questions and all that stuff, helping them figure out things. But if I'm taking any sort of equity in the business,
Hmm.
my money is there in place, my skin in the game is there, and then I do a lot of other things, strategic connections, networking. मैं खुद मतलब लोगो बनाने में इन्वॉल्व होता हूँ, मैं ब्रांडिंग डिजाइन आइडेंटिफाई करने में इन्वॉल्व होता हूँ. From programmer I became a designer also, so I design a lot of things myself, and I do a lot of work that I do with the founders. It's not like कि मैं बैठा हूँ एक कॉल के ऊपर और जस्ट मैं उनको ज्ञान दे रहा हूँ, I'm just advising them, right? कि आप करो, मैं नहीं कुछ नहीं करूँगा, right? I don't like that kind of mentorship honestly.
नहीं नहीं,
So
दैट आई थिंक इज द इनर फाउंडर ऑफ यू, कि वो आ ही जाता है कि यार मैं इसमें इंटरेस्टेड हूँ, ये गलत क्यों कर रहा है, मैं बताऊंगा ना.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So,
No, and I understand कि देखो, being a investor and advisor, आप एक टीम का पार्ट बन रहे हो, especially at the early stage. I'm not talking about growth stage startup जहाँ पर आप सिर्फ you are just putting a money and then you are letting the founder play the game. But just imagine at pre-seed and seed stage startup, why they reach out to an investor like me, because they need my experience, they need my skills, they need my capability, right?
hmm.
तो वो सिर्फ एडवाइस करने से नहीं होगा. यू समटाइम्स यू हैव टू सेव अ लॉट ऑफ मनी टू द फाउंडर इन डूइंग सम स्टफ, राइट? एंड आई डू वेरी स्मार्टली. मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ कि मैं 10 घंटे बैठ के कुछ वो जो कुछ काम हो रहा है वो मैं कर रहा हूँ. I
Hmm.
spent a couple of hours design and build a very fundamental stuff for them and give it to their team or some outsourcing team कि अब इसको scale करना है.
Hmm.
So I give a direction by putting a very fundamental stuff in place.
कि
Right.
you have worked with multiple journeys, right? कि एक से 100, 0 से 1, right? All of these. सो आई
Yeah.
थिंक दैट ऑल्सो यू आर एबल टू स्पॉट राइटली, क्योंकि मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि सपोज मैं कह रहा हूँ मैं 0 से 1 जा रहा हूँ,
Yeah.
बट यू आर सेइंग दैट भाई 0 से 1 तो जा रहा है, अभी कहाँ है, तू 0.7 पे या 0.5 पे है, राइट? आई थिंक
Yeah. Yeah.
दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू स्पॉट विच पॉइंट यू आर एट राइट नाउ, ताकि आइडेंटिफाई करना यू आर नॉट गोइंग 0 to 1, यू आर गोइंग 0.7 to 1.
Yeah.
तो
Absolutely.
वो स्पॉट वो तभी आता है व्हेन यू हैव मल्टीपल वर्कड विद मल्टीपल कंपनीज अक्रॉस इन देयर डिफरेंट जर्नी. सो आई थिंक दैट यू हैव वर्कड अराउंड,
Yeah.
दैट व्हाट आई एम एबल टू.
100%। मतलब मैंने तो लोगो चेंज किया हुआ है, सबकी ब्रांडिंग चेंज की हुई है, पूरा फाउंडर का माइंडसेट चेंज किया हुआ है टू लुक एट द बिजनेस. सो यू आर राइट, मतलब समटाइम्स द फाउंडर इवन नॉट बिल्डिंग द राइट कंपनी, सो उनको ऑप्टिमाइज करना, उनको रीअलाइन करना इन द राइट डायरेक्शन इज रिक्वायर्ड. सो पहले तो यू आर राइट कि पहले आप 0 और 1 के बीच में भी कहाँ पे हो, तो पहले उनको -1 पे लेकर आना है, -1 से फिर 0 पे लाना है, राइट? कि पहले आप पीछे आओ थोड़ा सा एक स्टेप एंड करेक्ट ऑल दीज थिंग्स फर्स्ट बिफोर इवन बिल्डिंग सर्टन थिंग्स फ्रॉम देयर. सो आई थिंक इट्स क्रिटिकल. दैट्स व्हाट आई थिंक कि मैं यहाँ पे वैल्यू ऐड कर सकता हूँ. सो आई पिक एंड चूज एंड सेलेक्ट विच स्टार्टअप्स आई पर्सनली वांट टू गेट इन्वॉल्व इनटू, क्योंकि फाउंडर की भी इंटेंशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो वो बोल
यस.
तो रहे, और ये बहुत सारे मेंटर्स के साथ ये चैलेंज आता है. इफ यू विल हियर लॉट ऑफ मेंटर्स कि यार हम बोलते तो हैं ये फाउंडर करता नहीं है, एंड देन दे कीप मूविंग इन सर्कल्स. सो आई थिंक फर्स्ट यू हैव टू रियली अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर मैं मेंटर या एडवाइस या किसी को कर रहा हूँ तो वो कितना रिसेप्टिव है टू रियली टेक दैट एडवाइस.
I think it's more like it trust, right? कि
या
कितना the founders trust and the founders have a connect with that mentor or the investor, because the founders are not able to relate कि how he is adding value. Suppose a investor who has not been an operator, right, giving an operator advice to someone, right, in the area which he or she has not worked previously or not involved previously, right?
या
So wo founder then becomes receptive in that sense a lot, right? But I think knowing what's behind that investor, that what we are doing over here, right? But that makes, that confidence among the founders ki हाँ ठीक है, whom we are talking to has done some kind of a shit in his journey, right? So he
या
understands the things around. So yes.
एंड देर आर लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स दैट कि फाउंडर्स को एक स्पेशली फर्स्ट टाइम फाउंडर्स को उनको पता नहीं होता कि इस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में क्या करें, एंड देन दे स्टार्ट डूइंग रैंडम थिंग्स,
Hmm.
राइट? एंड
Yes.
एट दैट टाइम समबडी इन योर टीम हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस. सो अब चैलेंज क्या होता है स्टार्टअप्स का कि कोई भी 10-15 साल का एक्सपीरियंस का पर्सन होगा, आप उसको हायर नहीं कर सकते. मतलब दे विल आस्क यू 3 लाख 4 लाख 5 लाख रुपये मंथ काइंड ऑफ सैलरी, तो आप उनको हायर, पहली बात तो हायर ही नहीं कर पाओगे, राइट? बट वो आपको एक्सपीरियंस और एक्सपर्टीज तो चाहिए. हाउ विल यू फिल दैट गैप? क्योंकि अगर वो नहीं होगा तो यू एज अ फाउंडर विल स्ट्रगल इन टेकिंग द राइट डिसीजंस, और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आप गलत डिसीजंस लोगे, राइट? एंड एज ऑन एन एवरेज अ फाउंडर हैज टू टेक एटलीस्ट 10 की डिसीजंस इन अ डे, चाहे वो टीम से रिलेटेड हो, चाहे वो कस्टमर से रिलेटेड हो, चाहे वो ऑपरेशंस हो, कंप्लायंसेस हो. बहुत ज्यादा की डिसीजनिंग होती है ऑन अ डेली बेसिस, चेंज होता रहता है कुछ ना कुछ लाइफ में, राइट? जैसे मेरे साथ मतलब मेरा एक्सपीरियंस बताता हूँ. तो मैं हमेशा फाउंडर्स को बोलता हूँ कि मेरे साथ क्या होता था. तो एक ही दिन में मेरे बहुत सारे मूड स्विंग्स होते थे. तो मेरे इमोशन इतने हाई अप एंड डाउन होता था. तो अभी सुबह उठाऊं 9 बजे, मेरे पास एक कस्टमर की मिल आई कि योर $50,000 प्रोजेक्ट इज अप्रूव, राइट? बट इसी तरफ एक टीम मेंबर है, वो बोल रहा है कि आई वांट टू लीव द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, राइट? नाउ जस्ट इमेजिन कि एक प्रोजेक्ट आ गया आपके पास, बट आपके पास अब एक बंदा है टीम में, वो बोल रहा है कि नहीं, आई डोंट वांट टू वर्क. उसके कुछ पर्सनल चैलेंजेस हैं या हेल्थ इश्यूज हैं, व्हाटएवर. सो अब आपको देखना है कि यार अब ये कैसे करेंगे, ये काम तो आ गया. उसको फिर बात करी, उसका चैलेंज सॉल्व किया, फिर 2 घंटे बाद 3 घंटे बाद फिर नॉर्मल सिचुएशन, फिर कोई और इशू, नया प्रोजेक्ट का कोई और इशू. सो आई थिंक हैविंग समबडी विद द सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस एंड जर्नी विथ यू सेव्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम, एफर्ट, एनर्जी. क्योंकि एक गलत चीज कंपनी में होते ही पूरी एनर्जी सबकी डाउन हो जाती है कंपनी में. As soon as the founders and key people energy goes down, everybody's energy goes down.
Yes.
और ये बहुत प्रैक्टिकल है, चाहे फाउंडर कितना भी बोले कि ये सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है, सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा है, इन्वेस्टर कॉल पे तो पॉजिटिव ही बात होगी सारी, राइट? बट एक फाउंडर ही जानता है कि रियली में उसकी जिंदगी में चल के आ रहा है. एंड इन्वेस्टर हु इज जस्ट एन इन्वेस्टर विल नॉट हैव दैट व्यू. तो आप उसको ये बता भी नहीं पाओगे. आप उसको शेयर भी नहीं कर पाओगे ये बात.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you need somebody who has gone through, who has lived that life. Being an operator VC, that's the key advantage and edge a operator VC has over any other investor who will just tell you कि ठीक है हम आपको network दे देंगे, finance दे देंगे, ये दे देंगे, वो दे देंगे. But that's not the only thing that a founder needs at early stage.
Yes. I also think क्योंकि क्या होता है ना कि कहीं not all but most of the VCs के साथ सीन क्या है कि they don't realize that the money which they have taken from LPs is a liability. They
Yeah,
take it as that it's their own money, right? So वो kind of hurdle भी आता है कि interaction between founders and them. But I think most of them, with the operator VCs, it's not a usual case scenario क्योंकि उनका पता है कि भाई खुद का पैसा है, सही जगह डालना है, सही बंदे पे डालना है, and they are like more like that. So I think that also gives an edge to the operator VCs, the communication, the EAs that founders feel to get in touch with them.
absolutely. And it's a public money. Founder don't realize कि जो VC का भी money है, वो भी public का money है.
हाँ,
Right? They have LPs to
yes,
report to.
yes,
So it's very, very critical for the founder to really take that step कि हाँ मुझे VC का पैसा चाहिए, but before that they should be ready to report each and everything of what's going on in the company.
yes,
And
yes.
some founder don't really realize that. Later they realize कि अब इतने ऐसे questions क्यों पूछे जा रहे हैं, क्या हो रहा है, and then they also try to avoid a lot of things. So I think it's good to really understand कि if you are raising VC money,
How does VC?
क्या आप सिर्फ एक वीसी से रेज कर रहे हो या ऑपरेटर वीसी से रेज कर रहे हो या एक स्ट्रेटेजिक इन्वेस्टर से रेज कर रहे हो. सो ऑल दीज डिसीजंस आर वेरी क्रिटिकल.
Hmm.
You have to design like your own funding process, funding strategy कि हमें कब किससे कैसा पैसा चाहिए.
And also tell me more about this. So now you have RTAF is one, right? Now you are starting with Backrr, right? अपनी बात हुई थी when we were in Delhi as well, right? We were discussing कि what you are building, how that thing is now, how much passionate you are, right? So tell me more about this. कि Backrr फिर आया कहाँ से? You told me bunch of the problems that exist in the market, right? That we were discussing that time.
हाँ.
But still, कि कि होता क्या है कि when you make a money, right? There are two kind of things. Either वो होता है कि खून शेर के मुंह पे खून लग गया, राइट वाला सीन कि नाउ ही वांट्स मोर. दूसरा साइड होता है कि ही इज मोर लाइक कि बना दिया ठीक है भाई अब चिल बैठो आराम से, वो पैशन खत्म हो जाता है, राइट. बट आई डोंट सी दैट थिंग अमंग यू, राइट, क्योंकि नाउ यू आर अगेन बैक इन बिल्डिंग अराउंड द स्टफ. सो इज इट अ कॉन्शियस डिसीजन टू चूज फ्रॉम दोज थिंग्स एंड how you are doing that? So yeah, on to you.
No, I think it's part of the journey, and of course my obsession and passion to solve problems for myself and the founders. Right. Uh, I've been a builder of all my life. I've been building products for people, and that's वो अंदर हमेशा है. Right. That's already imbibed in me from childhood. मतलब मैंने मेरा पहला जो सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया था when I was in 10th grade. I sold my first software in 10th grade. तो मैंने एक रेस्टोरेंट के लिए, जयपुर के रेस्टोरेंट टर्न मतलब कम होटल के लिए, मैंने वो एक फ्रंट डेस्क सॉफ्टवेयर बना के दिया था मेरे मामा के साथ मिलके. सो आई थिंक दैट बिल्डिंग वाला मेरे में शुरू से है. सो आई थिंक कि still a lot of things I can build, and help a lot of people around that. So the Backrr is in continuation of that only. So helping angel investors create a lot of process for angel investors, simplifying the process of identifying the right early stage investments, setting up compliances with technology and very lean team, making sure that all the compliances, everything is in place. Then bringing the transparency of all the transactions that we are doing on our app, RTF Connect app, wherein all the deals are being listed there, scheme documents, page deck, their analysis, etc., being there, right? But that I felt that I think there is, and every fund has some of the other limitation. We can do some limited things. There are theses and all that thing, and there are a lot of founders and VCs need a better product in the market to help connect them and then drive their entire journey from discovery to the exit. So अभी मैं पहली प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ by building this product of the discovery of good startups and VCs among each other. So this entire product simplifies कि एक startup की profiling कैसे होती है. So a lot of time we see is dependent on some analyst and all these people. And analysts have limited experience in laying down all the right kind of data, matrix, profiling, etc.
Hmm.
So this tool provides a framework for all the VC analysts and this venture scouts and VCs themselves who wants to get involved in the process कि आप प्रोफाइलिंग कैसे करोगे। इस टूल पे वो सारा डेटा पॉइंट्स मैप्ड है जो एक स्टार्टअप का पॉसिबल होना चाहिए हमारे पास। सो हम स्टार्टअप को बोलते हैं आप अपनी प्रोफाइल क्रिएट करना स्टार्ट करो, फिर अपना ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स डालो, बिजनेस प्लान डालो, अपनी परफॉर्मेंस की मैट्रिक्स डालो, लास्ट 2-3 महीने की, 6 महीने की, वॉट एवर इट इज, एंड on based on this data is very clearly laid down on a very intuitive dashboard wherein um as a uniform way you can evaluate 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 startups। एक एक एवरेज वीसी के पास ऑन एन एवरेज 100 से 200 एप्लीकेशंस आती है महीने में, राइट? एंड टू गो थ्रू दोज ऑल दोज एप्लीकेशंस इज अ टीडियस वर्क।
Yes.
एंड इन दिस एंटायर प्रोसेस वहां पर बहुत सारा चांसेस है एक अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी को मिस करने के लिए। तो अगर आप किसी भी वीसी से बात करोगे तो दे आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट कि हमने हमने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से सोच के इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है, मोस्टली रेफरल्स के थ्रू कर पा रहे हैं, बट दे हैव अ वेरी गुड पाइपलाइन ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स विच दे are not able to really tap into and they miss on lot of good opportunities and then they realize कि अच्छा इसने हमें पिच किया था, हमें तो पता ही नहीं लगा कि कब ये हमारे पास आया, राइट? फिर वो अपनी मेल देखते हैं पुराना कि ऐसे निकला। सो आई थिंक दिस टूल गिव्स देम द एंटायर लिस्ट ऑफ ऑल द एप्लीकेशंस दैट दे आर रिसीविंग। एट द सेम टाइम स्टार्टअप अपनी पूरी प्रोफाइल का डेटा डाल देता है सो दैट देयर एप्लीकेशन डोंट गेट मिस्ड। वो प्रायोरिटी पे चली जाती है जिसका ये डेटा है। तो अगर जिसका बिजनेस प्लान है, पिच डेक है, परफॉर्मेंस डेटा अवेलेबल है, प्रोग्रेस डेटा अवेलेबल है, वो प्रायोरिटी पे चला जाता है ऑटोमेटिकली। एंड देन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म्स कीप्स रिमाइंडिंग टू द फाउंडर्स कि आप अपना डेटा अपडेट करके रखो, अपना जर्नी को अपडेट करके रखो, ताकि योर चांसेस ऑफ गेटिंग कनेक्टेड टू द इन्वेस्टर एंड गेटिंग द इंटरेस्ट फ्रॉम द इन्वेस्टर्स इंक्रीजेस। सो ये अभी तक मिसिंग था। तो बस एक मेल करके छोड़ दी या एक लिंक्डइन करके छोड़ दिया, मैसेज करके छोड़ दिया, दैट डजंट वर्क, राइट? अगर वो अच्छा स्टार्टअप है तो उसके लिए ये वर्क नहीं कर रहा। सो क्या है, ये प्लेटफॉर्म वो फ्रेमवर्क है जहां पर अच्छा काम कर रहा है कोई फाउंडर और उसके पास पूरा डेटा है, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली प्रायोरिटी पे चला जाता है एंड देन द कन्वर्सेशंस कैन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम देयर। तो पहला मेरा स्टेज ये है कि मैं कैसे बेटर कनेक्शंस बनाऊं, मीनिंगफुल कनेक्शंस बनाऊं इस प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू। दैट्स व्हाट आई एम करेंटली वर्किंग ऑन, and then we will unlock a lot of other aspects for helping them get the exits and all those things for the VCs and early stage founders.
How do you came up with the name? Just the thing, Backrr is like a very, चीज होता है कि क्विक इजी टू रिमेम्बर नेम हो, राइट? जैसे
Yeah.
अपने का भी वैसा ही रहता है कि क्विक इजी टू रिमेम्बर, ब्रेक इनटू इजी, दैट्स इट, स्टार्टेड अप, दैट्स इट। सो Backrr is like, how did you?
I think I was looking for some name which is very, relatable to the investors, right? कि investors क्या होते हैं? So I was going through a lot of jargons and all that stuff. I spent couple days in coming with the name. But yeah, I think it clicked. It clicked the backer. So can we just play with some letters and all? So yeah, I think it happened. It happened. Yeah, that it
Just,
just clicked this name, and luckily we got the .com as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, I also got one. So yeah.
डॉट कॉम ढूंढना बहुत मुश्किल है अब।
For me, it was someone having in the US.com, and to me, it was showing something 3.5 lakh, 13 lakh something.
हम्म।
And few days back, I was just randomly कोई और डोमेन में सर्च कर रहा था और इसका नीचे .com आ गया फॉर द नॉर्मल प्राइस। तो फर्स्ट स्टेप वाज टू बाय करो इसको।
Yeah, 100%.
Kind of
Yeah.
that's
I
that.
wanted to know how you came up with this thing, break into VC, and what inspired you to come up with this.
Okay, so what happened was that when we were doing a previous started up, right? So we got the dot com, I think so. No, dot in, yeah. That. So started up was again a similar kind of a platform where we were helping building connects. It was basically like a community platform just for startup ecosystem, right? Like LinkedIn is there for professional, it was for startups, right? But our end goal was that that there should be, you saw a way where 5,000 invest in 5,000 rupees in startups, 10,000 rupees. Our aim was that retail investors do not know about startups. There should be kind of a mutual fund where they can invest in and that invest in startup. So that didn't work out because SEBI, doesn't allow to invest like that. So there is Cat 1, Cat 2, Angel Fund, and all these categories. So I worked with their bunch of the investors around, but now that thing has shut down. I wanted to go into VC and IB, and I was not able to, break in. So it took me 4 or 5 months to break into that. I went with an IB based out of Singapore, worked across C region, amazing experience. But when you do this, एक कोई दोस्त होता है जो आता कहता है कि तेरा हो गया मेरे को भी बता दे कैसे जाना है तो
Hmm.
दैट फ्रेंड केम इन एंड आई हेल्प्ड हिम उसका 2 महीने में वीसी में हो गया एंड ही वाज फ्रॉम अ टायर 3 टेक कॉलेज नो इंटर्नशिप एक्सपीरियंस जस्ट अ फ्रीलांसर सो दैट वाज अ टर्निंग पॉइंट उसने मजाक में कहा कि तेरे को कुछ ऐसा स्टार्ट करना चाहिए
Hmm.
दैट वाज द पॉइंट आई रैन द फर्स्ट कोहर्ट बैचेस और क्या हुआ कि मैंने अनाउंस करा एंड बंच ऑफ द पार्टनर्स एट अ फंड उन्होंने नीचे कमेंट कर दिया कि दिस इज समथिंग कूल क्योंकि ऐसा हो नहीं रहा था तब 2.5 साल पहले 2 साल पहले
Yeah.
तो वो फट गया वहां से एंड it started now the things have been growing crazy नाम break into VC was just like कि मेरे को break in करने में दिक्कत हुई तो break into VC
It's very catchy. It's very recallable,
yes
word.
yes kind of that now the things are
You,
clicking
it was your own personal journey to break into VC, and then
yes
you thought that it can be
yes
given to a lot of people.
yes so similar thing मैं market size कुछ नहीं जानता था
Hmm.
nothing no market sizing nothing की start
Yeah.
करो क्योंकि ये कुछ interesting होता है that's the thing
Yeah. I
अभी
think that's the beauty of builders. I think we could be talking about कि एक as an early stage
हम्म,
operator VC क्या देखता है. Building is मतलब instinct क्या है कि you like something and you think that this problem is your own problem.
हम्म,
But of course there could be a decent business. Of course आप मतलब you might have not done a very big market study and research
yes
and competitor etc. But you think that if I am going through it, there could be like several people around it, and then you start that one thing can be a small market, but
yes
you can unlock a lot of other aspects around that business.
yes that's the thing मेरे को भी यही लगता है कि it's more like if you are able to solve this problem maybe there is some another problem that you may not know but exists right
Yeah,
तो वो चीज
but this space is growing, so you know this space is growing,
yes
and this could be an advice to a lot of founders or the people who are thinking to become founders in their
yes
own space, जहां पर उनको लगता है कि यार ये चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, ये कितना बड़ा बनेगा नहीं बनेगा. आई थिंक दे डोंट हैव टू थिंक ऑल दिस एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. They need to really identify industry, work on one problem that might be can be a problem which can give them entry into that market,
Hmm.
and फिर later on figure out कि इसको
yes
multiple services या diversification करके कैसे बड़ा बना सकते हैं.
yes
So I
yes
think that's a great thing about builders.
या वेरी राइट क्योंकि मेरे को यही लगता है कि पहले कूदो तो सही पानी में देन
Yeah,
गहराई नापना उसकी कितनी है राइट
yeah.
इट्स मोर लाइक दैट अगर स्विमिंग थोड़ा बहुत आता है तैर सकते हो तो कूदो एक बार एंड जस्ट टेस्ट द थिंग सो फॉर अस आल्सो मैं शुरुआत मैंने करी थी सो आई जस्ट गिव एन एग्जांपल तो इट वाज जस्ट 5 पीपल इन द बैच 3 4 बैच में थे एंड दे वर स्टूडेंट्स अर्ली प्रोफेशनल अब थिंग्स आर क्रेजी पीडब्ल्यूसी के डायरेक्टर राइट
Hmm.
आर इन द बैच
Yeah,
राइट
yeah.
ओरेकल के डायरेक्टर टाई सूरत के डायरेक्टर राइट दीज गाइज आर इन द बैच थिंग्स हैव बीन चेंज वी हैव इवॉल्वड अ बिट राइट तो वो चीजें हैं तो यस इट्स क्रेजी
No, it sounds amazing, and congratulations to you for building this. And I think the community is growing day by day, right?
yes thank you
And I see that the number of VCs, more and more VCs are, and
Hmm.
even young VCs are coming in the
yes
space. I think they want the right direction. They need the experience of other VCs, and I think that kind of exposure that you are providing. So you are becoming like a center point for all the VCs now.
we may that right the thing is has been only same key how to create a wow moment for all the stakeholders
Great, super, super,
yes
lovely to know that.
but yes thank you for coming on to the podcast a lot of great insights right now people understand more about how the investors work right how they look after in the behind and more about you हमारा
Yeah,
तो पहले एक बार chat हुआ है and we are also meeting right soon so
yeah,
the thing is this angle how that things work how the businesses work how people can actually not see just as an investor but as a partner as a stakeholder right as building some meaningful connection that is much more in. important, I think so. And yes, that's it. I hope you also had a good time.
Amazing, amazing. I think I love our conversation. It took me back to my founding days on my startup days. So I think, and I'm building new startups, right? I'm up
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I thought that I should build this a startup now which can help millions of startups. So
Yes.
I think that also inspires me a lot every day.
That's
So I'm building a startup for startups.
that's, that's
Cool, Himanshu. Pleasure talking to you.
likewise.